Welcome, everyone, and this is going to be a microcast 10. I am your host, Matrixlord212, and I'm with Chris. What's up, Chris?
What's up, everyone?
All right, so Schmoogle's being Schmoogle. So we're going to talk on the microcast about I believe we were talking about the DC Cinematic Universe.
Yes.
Okay. Now, is there, someone behind the whole entire DC Cinematic Universe that they're mapping it out, interconnecting the movies, or the movies stand alone, all of them?
To be honest, I have no idea. I would assume that there's a group within Warner Brothers that handles all of this, but...
I mean, Zack Snyder is basically getting phased out, correct?
Well, that's what they're saying, but I mean, he's directing Justice League, so it's like...
And then
is he really?
Is he out after that, possibly?
Well, there's a rumor going around that he might not do Justice League 2. It depends on how Justice... Because let me tell you something. If Justice League does well, even if it doesn't do, even if a lot of people don't, fans don't like it, if it makes a lot of money, they'll ask him to come back. Of
course. And if it does horrible, he's gone.
Oh, yeah.
Look, I just think that, to me, compared to the organization of Marvel with the phases,
yeah,
it's like they see Suicide... And tell me if I'm wrong, Chris, right? They see Suicide as a hit, right? So they're like, all right, let's pull from the Suicide Squad well. Let's pull out Harley Quinn movie. Let's do a Harley Quinn Gotham Sirens movie. Let's do a Deadshot movie. Am I wrong in that?
It sounds to me like they're looking at the things that people liked in Suicide Squad, and they're like, well, let's make a movie about that. Let's make a movie about that. It would be the equivalent, and I said this to you before, it would be the equivalent of Marvel looking at Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 and saying, hey, let's make a Baby Groot movie. Let's make a Drax movie. Let's make a Mantis movie, because people really liked those things. Sometimes it's best to just let these things play out the way they're going to and not oversaturate things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just because something is really popular doesn't mean that people want to see a TV series or a movie series or something like that. That's what you have novels for. You know what I'm saying? Like Star Wars has novels. There are people that like the political things in Star Wars, but they try not to put them in the movies anymore. They put those things in the novels. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't think you need to I don't think these companies need to jump on everything that becomes popular.
I agree. I mean, I honestly think that they need to focus on Man of Steel 2 and Batman and all this other stuff. I mean, again, what if Wonder Woman bombs? Then you're going to do Aquaman 2? Then you're going to do The Flash and Cyborg? I mean, what if Justice League isn't well received? Then you just lost that whole thing. So then you're just going to do Suicide Squad spin-off movies. And again, I think that's a mistake too. Because I mean, I don't. On one hand, she's supposed to be with the Suicide Squad, but then she got broken out with the Joker. So now she's going to be a villain now, destroying everything with these girls? Or is it going to be like a girly girl movie? I mean, what's this about? Maybe there is no plot. Maybe it's just them destroying things, right? I mean, in the comics, are they just destroying things? Or are they just heroes?
I don't know. I never read the comics, and personally, I think this is a bad idea for a movie, to be honest. I know I've never read the comics, so I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's a great story that they can tell. But to be honest with you, your heroes have not worked yet, okay? Superman and Batman, well, people are intrigued by Batman. But Superman, I'm sorry, as a hero in the DC universe is not working, okay?
Right.
You have to establish your heroes first before you establish, villains and characters like that. Your villains should be there to make your heroes look good. And, I mean, your villain should look good as well. But you know what I'm saying? This is what I'm trying to say. It's like if they made Thor in Marvel, right? Mm-hmm. They make Thor. Loki's the villain, okay? And then all of a sudden they're like, you know what? We're going to make a Loki movie right now. Phase 2 right now. They
teased that a while ago, but yeah.
No, but they didn't do it.
Right.
It would be like if in Phase 2 they're like, you know what? We don't need one of those hero movies. Let's put a Loki movie in there.
Right.
And then people are like, wait a minute. He's a good villain. I don't want to see a movie about him.
Right. I mean, look at Sony was going to do Sinister Six.
Yeah,
and I was against it. I was against that set, actually.
The Sinister Six, if you want to make them a villain in a Spider-Man or villains in a Spider-Man movie, that's fine. I think you could do a 2-part movie with that. But I don't want to see the Sinister Six movie.
No.
What are they going to do? What are they going to do?
Well, I mean, they're going to all be in it, and then in the end, Spider-Man's going to beat them. So what's the point of that, then?
To me, if they wanted to do this movie in the DC universe later on, I would have no problem with it. But the fact that they want to do it now or sometime soon, your universe isn't working that well for you to be making movies like this.
Yeah.
You know, in my opinion. And I think that it's very apparent that this universe is not going as well as they thought it would be. Because if it was...
We're talking about the DC Cinematic Universe.
Yes. Because if it was, we would have a good Superman movie, we would have a good Batman movie, Batman versus Superman would have done well, and Suicide Squad would have done decent or well. Okay, yes, it made money, but the movie was terrible.
Mm.
So, you know, same thing with Batman versus Superman. So, and Man of Steel, half the people who saw it hate that movie.
Well, I got to tell you, I was being a fan of the Matrix movies. I looked at that, I'm like, that's all the effects from the Matrix movies. Like just about everything from the ship with Zod, it looked like the Matrix, like the machines, all the liquid thing. And when he flew, it was the same Matrix effect. It was all Matrix. I was kind of pissed off, honestly, when I saw that stuff. And the ship, that was Zod's ship, it looked like the Jaggeroth ship from Doctor Who. Like a cross between World of Worlds, that all taken from different things, you know? So, I mean, I liked Man of Steel. I thought it was good, but I didn't think it was like a Christopher Reeve 1 and 2. I mean, those are like my favorites, you know? And I can understand with Superman Returns that's erasing Superman 3 because Superman Returns is supposed to be a direct sequel to Superman 2 because, you know, you don't want to remember Superman 3 and 4. But there was no villain. There was Lex Luthor, which they should have been Brainiac or something in that.
Yeah, Superman can't fight Lex Luthor unless he has like a power suit, Lex Luthor.
Yeah, that's just
like that.
You know, come on.
You got to have you can have Lex Luthor as a villain, but you have to have a villain that Superman can actually fight along with Lex Luthor. You know,
right, and the action figures
have him make like Metallo or like Cyborg Superman or something like that, or Parasite. You know, have him be the guy that makes Parasite, and then Superman has to fight one of them.
I mean, the action figures were clearance in like a couple of weeks because it was Superman. And it was Lex Luthor and Superman. So what is Superman going to fight? A human? Like, that's just, what are you going to do with that? That's stupid. I mean, I thought, though, that it was a great rendition of Lex Luthor, you know, and Miss Tessmacher, I guess, right? But and it reminded me of the original, but it just was missing something. And the thing it was missing was a villain because that's what it should have been. It should have been Brainiac. They should have just added Brainiac to it, but they didn't, so...
Well, I think what they were thinking with that movie was, oh, okay, well, in the first Superman movie, he didn't fight something crazy, so...
I know, but you know what? People, in this day and age, they need...
Yeah, it's different. Yeah, it's different.
Action, and they need something. I mean, you can't do a Predator movie with just, you know, Arnold in the jungle with the Predator anymore. It's got to be different, you know? So people want more. They're used to things evolving, you know, and doing better, so... you know, that's what I feel anyway. But so anywho, I mean, I would be happy with Man of Steel 2, Man of Steel 3, Batman 1, Batman 2, and then we'll do Green Lantern maybe.
Yes, please.
You know?
Redo that.
But do it like where it doesn't look corny. Like do it appropriately, properly. Spend some time with it.
And it doesn't have to be really dark.
Yeah.
It could be a little bit lighthearted at points.
Right. It could just be Green Lantern, and it doesn't have to introduce the whole entire Green Lantern Corps. You know, just like him and learning how to use it right, and then fighting whatever. No?
I mean, I guess they could do that, but then at the end, maybe the Corps comes to get him,
Right.
or asks him, or come with us. We have to. You're not using it
There's a
properly.
bigger threat, right? Or
Something
something.
like that. You know, I think introducing the Green Lantern Corps would be a big step for the DC cinematic universe because it would open up. There's more aliens than just Kryptonians. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
There's a whole abundance of things out there, more than just Darkseid and Steppenwolf and Kryptonians and this, that, and the guys that we know. There's a huge amount of races that could eventually show up in this universe.
Yeah. So now with Marvel, what they've been doing lately is they've been doing stuff that's not connected to the. You really don't need to read about the Infinity Gauntlet. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to watch. I guess Thor Ragnarok really doesn't make any connections in Infinity War, I heard. It's
Yeah, as
just,
far as we know, yeah.
they treat it like, it's not connected to the other movies. It's just, it's supposed to be a funny movie, I heard. Like a different take,
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. But I just wish they would do a Hulk movie. Get that over with. Do it right. I always felt, even reading the comics, that the Hulk never had good enough villains. You're only as good as your villain, I guess. And the Hulk, like, everybody was too easy to beat. With the exception they created this one guy called Madcap or whatever it was.
Mm.
And the guy was really, like, tricked the Hulk and did all this stupid thing. And they had a cool countdown storyline. It was really good. But he could have replaced the leader, I guess. Because the leader, after a while, got to be dull, too.
Well, I would have liked to see him show up in the Marvel Universe. I mean, they teased it at the end of The Incredible Hulk, and then it was like, yeah, don't worry, you're never going to see that.
Well, I mean, they count that. Which Hulk did they count as canon? Both of them?
No, as far as I know, it's only The Incredible Hulk.
That was the second one.
Yeah.
That's the canon.
Yeah.
Okay. Because Thunderbolt Ross, the guy in there is, that's what they used for Civil War, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. But only you just got to feel, okay, different, Bruce Banner, that's what it was always Henderson. Yeah. All right. I would love to see a Hulk movie. It would be nice. I mean, you don't have to do an origin thing. But I mean, again, I always liked the Rick Jones thing. Wasn't the Rick Jones thing the thing from the original comic? Like he saved Rick Jones and then a blast and stuff like that. So, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I would have rather them do that than not do that.
To be honest, I don't think we need to see an origin story. I think we could just go, we know the Hulk. Just go with it.
I would be happy with a Black Widow movie, but I guess they're iffy about that, right?
I don't want to see a Black Widow movie, to be honest with you. To me, that would be taking the spot of a new character, and we know Black Widow already. I think her character is better left in mystery. You don't have to explore everything. We don't need an origin story for her. Just let us fill in the gaps with what we think we know and the tidbits that they give us. Personally, I don't think Black Widow is that great of a character. So I don't want to see her get a movie. I really don't. I'd rather if they gave a movie to like Nick Fury or someone like that.
I gotcha. All right. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye for now.